what AI impact your career?
Even before AI, I guess recorded video were impacting my career. So if I feed that sheet into an AI platform and they are able to generate an AI video script, they can create better notes, they can create better content, they can have a more fluent part of this, how my job can be done. Everybody is replaceable in this world. Wherever I belong, nobody can remove me from that place.
So, if a person want to grow in life, not in based on tech, in terms of communication, in terms of relations and physics and all these things, so what would be one advice that nobody should follow?
Compare yourself to others and take their opinion into consideration. I think that is the worst thing you can do to yourself. Parents do that a lot कि वो बच्चा तो इतना अच्छा स्कोर कर रहा है आपका स्कोर क्यों नहीं अच्छा आया मेरा बच्चा कैसे खराब कर सकता है पहले तो वो टॉपर था अब ऐसा कैसे कर रहा है तो ये बहुत कॉमन चीजें हैं.
Do you think SST teacher are teaching how to get job or just survive disappearance of the job by AI?
As you know, in this day and age of prompt engineering, a good engineer can give good prompts to AI to build whatever they want to. A great engineer will be able to build the AI model which answers their questions. So that is what we are doing.
Welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much, Ash.
So before starting the heavy conversation, please introduce yourself as who are you as a person?
I am Akanksha Gour. I have been here as an instructor, but as a person, I see myself as more than an educator. I feel more of a mentor to all the people that I'm connected with, both in the classroom and outside. I am someone who identifies as being empathetic. I am curious. I'm always willing to learn, take feedback, because life is nothing if you feel like you have learned everything already. So, yeah, those are my moral values personally. And I feel that you should always keep on learning, you should always keep on taking feedback, try to understand where the people come from, try to understand their perspective, and that is what makes you a better human being.
You started as an assistant professor in Lucknow,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And now a batch success manager and professor as well in
Yeah.
SST. So, at what point did you realize teaching is not just a job for you?
Okay. So honestly, if I talk about me joining a private college as assistant professor, I just did not want my college days to end, and that is why I joined the college. But first year was more of that because I joined not just as an assistant professor, but I was also the cultural head for that particular college. And all my life, all or what I did was being a cultural head, whether in school, whether in college. So I just wanted to have the same life path. I was never meant for the corporate world, and that is why I chose the academic line. And in the beginning, I did not have that much interest in teaching, and I was more focused on the cultural event, which would happen at a very large scale. But then slowly, I started getting subjects which are very challenging, and I did not study them in my bachelor's because subjects are very different. So when I moved to those subjects, I had to learn them from scratch in order to teach my students. And I guess that was the learning curve that I had. First, you have to teach yourself, and then I used to find ways how can I make this feel easier to understand, and that's where I began. So pretty much first 1 year was more of chilling and doing the cultural activities, and after that I moved on to education. And more honestly, when I got my second job as an assistant professor again in IIT Allahabad, that was a turning point. That made me realize that teaching is more than just learning something from class and delivering it in a class, right? Because the first batch which I ever had was very small, and that is why handling those batches was very easy. But when you go to NITs, the batches are like 250 in strength. So here, just deliveries is not the concern. You have to engage with everyone, and it was pretty difficult in the beginning, I would say, because again, a class of 250 students who are sitting in this one single place, and the lectures there would be like 3 hours long, so you cannot just keep on talking for 3 hours. And the subjects which I was getting were also very theoretical, like software engineering and testing at that moment. Like today in Scalar, the curriculum is very different. We try to involve as much as practicality as possible. Like if you study software testing, you just won't be taught testing, but also you'll be taught concepts of Jira. However, that does not happen in a normal college. If you're learning testing, then you will study the age-old curriculums of all the models, how testing happens, why is it required, and all of that. So making that interesting for students was very challenging, honestly. but I learned a lot. And then I moved to another one of the NITs in Jalandhar, and that is where I feel like that was a moment in my classroom that I was given a subject, discrete mathematics, and along with that, I was also teaching C programming for first year students. And C programming in BTech first year is common to all the branches. So if there are 5 branches, all 5 branches will be studying C programming. हम जो चिल करते हैं इस मोमेंट पे तो आप रिलेट करते होंगे लाइक हमने भी कर रखा है और हाँ definitely. So honestly I did not study that much in college because I was a good student. So I would just sit in class, learn whatever the teacher is teaching me, and I would get it. And I was good at computers from the very beginning. Like I had a computer when I was a child, so you play around, you learn a lot of things. So 12th के बाद BTech curriculum felt easy for me because I am from ICSC and वहाँ पे तो कुछ ज़्यादा ही पढ़ा देते हैं, which was not even required. So BTech was easy for me, and honestly, I would not say that I was studying all the time, but I was very well versed in whatever was going on. So I do understand which chilling wala concept kahan se aata hai. So whenever I would see a fest or something happening, I would be very keen on just going and participating there. What was the meaning of chilling like in your time? I didn't have a lot of friends in college, so chilling would just mean me being with myself. I used to conduct a lot of workshops of dance and aerobics. That was my chill time, and conducting a lot of events at my college. So that was me having fun around the campus. I think you will be miss college of your time. Not really. Really beautiful. Oh my god, thank you so much. You have been teaching in remote and in person, yes, right? Correct. तो आपने कभी नोटिस किया है लाइक स्टूडेंट आर मोर ऑनेस्ट इन ऑनलाइन क्लासरूम्स एंड रेदर देन ऑफलाइन बिकॉज ऑनलाइन क्लासरूम में स्क्रीन डिफरेंस क्रिएट कर देती है डिस्टेंस क्रिएट कर देती है तो कभी नोटिस किया आपने ऑनेस्ट लाइक हाँ तो बहुत डिफरेंस है जेन्युइनली सी देयर आर टू पैरेलल्स फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कि द पीपल वी आर टीचिंग ऑफलाइन आर किड्स राइट so no matter how much you try to gel with them, you will have that generation gap, and you will do feel that बच्चे उतना honestly आपको हर चीज नहीं बताएंगे, and sometimes they feel like maybe the professor doesn't get me, तो उतना reach out नहीं करेंगे. On the other hand, जो offline students होते हैं, they are working professionals. And again, they are paying the buck out of their pocket. So they really want to get to know the instructor very well. और हर चीज पे डाउट पूछना, बहुत ज़्यादा engage करना. So it's been like 4 years since I've been taking online classes for Scalar, and I do feel कि वहाँ पे जो students reach out करते हैं, they know कि अगर अभी instructor से बात नहीं हो पाई तो पूरा course ही खराब हो जाएगा. So you have been teaching in NITs and other private colleges, right? So, what was the brutal truth that nobody talked? So, in private college, I have taught in only one private college, which I can comment about. First of all, they are following a very old curriculum, and mostly कुछ भी relevant नहीं है. And I remember कि 3 साल में कुछ चेंज ही नहीं हुआ टेक्नोलॉजी में एग्जैक्ट सेम सब्जेक्ट जो मैंने पढ़े थे वो कैसे पढ़ाए जा सकते हैं अगर आप उस सिलेबस को थोड़ा सा मॉडर्नाइज करके डालो तो इट मेक्स सेंस राइट but nothing was innovative. Then how NITs are different from other colleges? NITs में जो curriculum थोड़ा change होता रहता है और जो कुछ topics होते हैं तो honestly because the semester is like 6 months long तो पहले आप बहुत rigorously शुरू करते हो क्योंकि आपको लगता है कि जो students हैं अभी नए नए आए हैं ज़्यादा classes attend करेंगे तो starting से बहुत ही rigorously शुरू होता है but a lot of teachers were just skipping those topics कि this is not as important इसमें बस कुछ points ही important है ये आप पढ़ के आ जाना तो this was a drawback there. So same क्योंकि वो पूरा करिकुलम 6 महीने में प्लान करा होता है इतने इवेंट्स होते हैं क्लास कैंसलेशन होती है so more focus is on the basic stuff as compared to the application. Moving to NITs, what they do is focus less on the basic stuff and they focus more on the application. तो कुछ कुछ चीजें जो एंड में इम्पोर्टेंट होती हैं they will keep reiterating कि this we will see in the last class you have to relate this तो जो कनेक्शन बिल्ड होता है वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है एसएसटी का करिकुलम डिफरेंट है ट्रेडिशनल कॉलेजेस बट फीस भी तो इसकी बहुत ज्यादा है तो आपको लगता है ये वर्थ है किसी स्टूडेंट को लाइक एडवाइस करो आप तो ओके अगेन सी it depends on what path in life do you want to choose if you want to choose that path ki I want to come from like a reputed college right away so that companies are not seeing my name but seeing the college's name ki Phalan student is from NIT, and that is how you get the placements. Now you guys have a subject web development. मैंने honestly college के 4 सालों में web programming subject देखा है, and it is just for 1 semester, not more than 6 months. And उसमें एक बार भी कभी लैब नहीं करवाई गई है उसकी. It is just normal की theory की हाँ tables ऐसे बनती हैं, ये ऐसे बनता है. But obviously with NIT में improvement ये है कि उनको implement करवाया जाता है. और फिर स्किल में इम्प्रूवमेंट है कि वो क्लास में ही आपको इतना सिखा दिया जाता है दैट इवन विदाउट द लैब आई एम प्रीटी श्योर कि आप क्लास में वो कभी चीज़ें बना सकते हो. तो वो मेजर डिफरेंस है. बट अभी अगर आप देखो स्केलर के करिकुलम में वो सब्जेक्ट्स इंटरलिंक्ड है. हर जगह इट इज बिल्ट ऑन टॉप ऑफ ईच अदर. आप वेब डेव पढ़ रहे हो तो उसका एडवांस पढ़ोगे, फिर फ्रंट एंड पढ़ोगे, फिर बाकी चीज़ें पढ़ोगे आप.
Like desired curriculum.
Exactly. तो आप थर्ड ईयर तक ऐसा नहीं होता कि वो आई हैव टू रिवाइज फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग. इट्स मोर ऑफ कि वो तो सीखते ही आ रहे हो. और बाकी कॉलेजेस में आपको स्टार्टिंग से बट समथिंग व्हिच आई रियली फाउंड सम इंटरेस्टिंग इन स्केलर कि मैंने बहुत बैक बेंचर्स देखे हैं अपने हर साल में एंड नन ऑफ दैट बैक बेंचर इज लाइक कि ओ आई एम डूइंग समथिंग ऑफ माय ओन. दे आर मोर ऑफ कि आई एम अ लेजी लैड, आई विल जस्ट पास थ्रू. ठीक है, ये अब तक का मैंने देखा है. बट एट स्केलर व्हाट डिफाइंस स्केलर वाज कि जो भी मैंने बैक बेंचर्स भी देखे हैं अभी तक दे आर ऑल प्लेस्ड राइट नाउ with scalar or not with scalar. They have built projects, they have won so many hackathons and they have done it on their own. अगर उन्हें ये भी लगता है कि चलो मुझे क्लास में नहीं पढ़ना, because there is so much knowledge around with the instructors, with the labs, with the peer learning and online that you are forced to cultivate something in yourself कि आप कुछ अचीव कर ले जाते हो. तो वो बहुत अच्छी चीज है.
फर्स्ट ईयर में सारा एक प्लेन पे होता है और फर्स्ट ईयर एंड तक सब ग्रुप डिवाइड हो जाते हैं लाइक दे आर एक्चुअली.
हाँ करेक्ट, एब्सोल्युटली राइट.
तो सीजीपीए के बारे में बात करते हैं. लाइक सीजीपीए ओवर हाइप्ड है, अंडर हाइप्ड है? क्योंकि बहुत बात होती है कि सीजीपीए मेंटेन करनी चाहिए, लाइक स्किल्स मैटर बट स्टिल सीजीपीए शुड बी, वी शुड मेंटेन सीजीपीए.
Like you are a good student if you are scoring very well. Like you could be the absolute notorious student in your class, but अगर आपका मार्क्स अच्छा आ रहा है तो बचपन से वही सिखाया गया है कि आपको थोड़ा तो फेवरेटिज्म मिलता ही मिलता है. तो वो चीज़ है. As per me, all these things are like the qualification criteria. Like if I talk about myself, I was a silver medalist at my MTech. So I had like 9.8 CGPA. So, but is anyone talking about it? Absolutely not. Whatever I have done in my career is through the skills which I have learned, right? Like in the first, if I say the first year of my job, इतना अच्छा college नहीं मिला था मुझे पढ़ाने के लिए. It was a normal private college. But also I could jump to NITs only because I enhanced my skills. So CGPA for you guys also will always be a criteria, and you will always be judged by that. That is, I'm thinking that is something which you have to accept. But it does not define you. How much marks you earn does not define you. And not just this, if I am very honest, कि I have always been judged my entire life that I am not from a government college because I was not interested in pursuing BTech. I did not pursue it from a government college. I took a normal private college. But throughout my journey, I have always been judged. So, am I less efficient than the other person? Am I less learned than the other person? Absolutely not. It's more of that it is imbibed in your head. Like even when you now meet a student who is from an IIT, you will have that perception that okay, he's from an IIT or she's from an IIT. Does that mean he's a topper of an IIT? Absolutely not. Like you all have seen Three Idiots, right? You could be the backbencher in IIT, but you still have the tag.
Like एक पर्सन एक किसी स्टूडेंट का 9 सीजीपीए राइट, तो वो जज किया जाता है सोसाइटी में लाइक ये स्टूडेंट ब्रिलियंट है वगैरह, बट उसको क्यूरियोसिटी नहीं है लाइक न्यू थिंग्स लर्न करने की. देन इज इट एक्चुअली वर्थ?
It's more of an overview about you, but it does not define you. So I can look at a student ki okay 9.2 CGPA hai, but they might not be hardworking. They might have learned it from before, not that they're performing well, or they have some other ways of achieving that particular CGR. I am not commenting on it, but yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah.
But if I know a student personally and I see that learning rigor from them. Like you must have seen in your peer group also so many people who do not have that high CGR but are definitely doing good in their studies, and not just studies, they are making projects, they are building stuff. So
They are doing their own.
Correct. So it is a narrative that people have built, right? And again, it is like unleashing all those old chains ki CGPA के आगे देखो, but it is easier said than done. आप कितना भी कोशिश करो, आपको filter out उसी criteria से करा जाएगा.
A company puts CGPA first, like right. This is the barrier, like.
Correct.
तो कंपनीज लाइक क्या देखती है सीजीपीए लिखने पर उनको तो क्या चाहिए उनका वर्क प्लेस कंप्लीट होना चाहिए और सारे कोड ऑप्टिमाइज होने चाहिए लेकिन राइट स्टिल व्हाई देयर आर मेनी कंपनीज who puts CGPA as a criteria.
Okay. So, see again, why are you learning DSA? जो basic concepts हैं क्या वो directly apply होते हैं आज के world में? No. You're learning very basic subjects जो directly apply कहीं भी नहीं होंगे but आपको फिर भी सिखाए जाते हैं. Why is the case? हर company में aptitude test क्यों होता है? Because that is the other person trying to understand that what is the level of the learner, how much are they able to grasp from whatever has been taught to them. सो CGPA इज दैट मार्कर. सो अगर क्लास में कुछ डिलीवर करा गया है किसी भी स्टूडेंट के कितने भी मार्क्स आए हैं तो इट्स जस्ट गिव्स यू अ जजमेंट कि ओके इफ द पर्सन हैज स्कोर्ड मोर इट मींस दैट दे हैव अंडरस्टूड वेल. सो आफ्टर CGPA डू लुक एट द प्रोजेक्ट्स एज वेल. सपोज एक स्टूडेंट का CGPA कम है बट जो प्रोजेक्ट्स उसने बिल्ड करे हैं वो बहुत अच्छे हैं so definitely they will lean on the projects. I have seen so many students who have had a lower CGPA but the projects that they have built are better. So they obviously take that also into account कि क्या project बनाया है आपने.
Like in the flow of placement internships ये like third year के बाद चलते रहता है कि किसी को internship करनी कोई startup में जाना है किसी को तो इस flow में एक student क्या mistake कर सकता है जो उसे बहुत late realize होता है.
I think your resume matters a lot. So at this point, at the day and age जहाँ पे इतना सब कुछ AI हो गया है and creativity is dead. उसके ऊपर से इतने प्रोजेक्ट्स हर किसी ने बना रखे हैं टू कम अप विद समथिंग न्यू फील्स एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी कि ये तो नहीं हो पाएगा एंड नहीं भी करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स कॉपी ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स जो भी चले आ रहे हैं ये बना लो एटलीस्ट. सेकंड थिंग इज कि अपना बस डेटा निकाल के एआई में फीड करा एंड देन यू आर एबल टू क्रिएट अ रिज्यूमे आउट ऑफ इट.
तो एआई इज बिकम मोर कैपेबल राइट. तो आपको लगता है कि थिंकिंग शुड बी टॉट इन क्लासरूम rather than information grasping.
That is correct. And information grasping has never been the thing. It is for the basic level. जब आपको definition सिखाई जाती है, कुछ basic सिखाया जाता है, that is when we push you towards having that कि चलो definitions याद कर लो, आपको पता होना चाहिए कि क्या चीज़ क्या है. But as you move on to the second step of learning, it's not basic anymore, and now you are supposed to have applications of something. So fundamentals are important, definitely. I remember this one instance from my interview. It was for NIT Lavak only. And I was answering all the questions correctly. They asked me to code something and all, and I did that as well. And then one question was, what was namespace? It was not something that was being used in the industry. It was not something that was very relevant, but it was a small definition. So fundamentals are also important. Like right now also you are studying DBMS and after DBMS you move on to RDBMS, right? So the interviewer before questioning you about RDBMS, they will ask basic questions for DBMS as well. So both go hand in hand. Fundamentals show you that okay, you are not just mugged up everything for the interview, you have a base and from that you have learned and built more knowledge. And that's where application comes in. तो इवन इन इंटरव्यूज की अगर आप थोड़े से सही आंसर भी दोगे बट यू आर नॉट कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट योर आंसर्स देन नोबडी इज गोना बी जजिंग योर प्रोफाइल एज द बेस्ट कैंडिडेट. सो अगेन there is no best candidate for a particular profile. There's a perfect candidate. So they see your overall personality. Even in projects, if you have an idea and you're not able to present the idea, would anyone be interested? Absolutely not. You have to have that confidence to present your idea well and then move on to the implementation of your idea because you have to believe in yourself first than anyone else believing in you.
Do you think SST teacher are teaching how to get job or just survive disappearance of the job by AI?
See, as you know, in this day and age of prompt engineering, a good engineer can give good prompts to AI to build whatever they want to. A great engineer will be able to build the AI model which answers their question. So that is what we are doing here.
What is the turning point where we can realize like we are not just studying for studying to survive disappearance of the job?
I think that should come from within because from the beginning, like we are living in that world where we don't even know what would happen next. Like AI was not even that big of a thing like 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Some like we did have models, but they were not as good as what I have right now. Like if you see a lot of videos now, we even have to check if it is a real video or not. Earlier, identify AI videos was so easy. You could just spot some shadow or some birthmarks, and you would understand this is an AI video. That is not possible now. So the world is ever changing. So you cannot ever say that whatever I have learned is sufficient and I'll be able to get a job by this. Everybody is replaceable in this world. We have to understand, we have to be humble enough to know that we can be replaced, but you have to be confident enough to know that even if I'm replaceable, wherever I belong, nobody can remove me from that place. So if AI is coming and it is eating up a lot of jobs, it is eating up the jobs which are some which do not require that amount of intelligence. Intelligence is where human comes in. AI can work on data sets, it can work on models, it is learning from you only, right? So again, you have to come up with more innovative ways. So the moment that hits you, I guess that's your golden moment and you understand that we are studying for disappearance. Otherwise, in whatever traditional household that you have, you are more focused on just getting a job. What kind of job we are not concerned about. Like a lot of students are very driven and they know exactly from the moment what they want to do. But there are definitely a bunch of students who do not know what they want to do. They are just in an institution in which they know that they will be placed. In what kind of job? I do not know. How will I be placed? I do not know. But it is moving on. So you are the one who needs to decide that what kind of role I want to be in, what kind of impact I want to make in the society. So as like if I take an example of my online platform only, I take online classes, and just a couple of months ago, I was also asked to record lectures for those same online classes. So I am impacting my own career. So see, if a human can teach it, if I create a script, now anyone can replicate that script, right? And in any norm of teaching, having a script is very important because that is what is replicated. The script being in the course sheet over here, what the lecture plan is. And definitely it's AI. It has like tons of information more than me. They can create better notes, they can create better content, they can have a more fluent, interface and more fluent video in which they will communicating to the students.
What was your motivation in your journey of study?
In study.
Yeah.
I have always been a grade A student, so I cannot lie over there. So my motivation was it was always very easy for me. For me, I could just learn one topic and I could replicate it right away. It was not about mugging up. I just understood what is going on. So that is why it was easy. Something which I could never understand was the difficult topics of physics because I am not very good at physics. But rest everything all came easy to me, so I cannot lie and tell that this was my motivating factor and that is why I was a good student.
टॉपर लाइक मैं भी एक अपने डिस्ट्रिक्ट में मैंने टॉप किया 12 में राइट तो एक फियर रहता है कि सब लोग जज करते हैं ये तो कर ही लेगा तो एक क्राइटेरिया अपने को मेंटेन करना ही पड़ता है उससे नीचे गए तो लगता है कि अब नहीं बढ़ता ये जजमेंट मिलता है बहुत सारा व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट दैट
My parents are both working. I have been born and brought up in a joint family, so nobody really cared how much I was scoring. They were more focused on me being disciplined and me doing the A to Z things as I was told. So nobody really cared what a dip in the marks was. I personally observe this as that something might be going on with a student. Like if there is a grade A student who is suddenly not scoring well, study is not the only factor influencing it. They might not be happy in their life right now. They might be feeling stressed, or they might be other things. Like again, any job or any college is not your entire life. It is a part of your life. So you can have n number of things going on there. So if someone is scoring low, I'm not relating that to them being a bad student. I'm more focused on understanding and what happened, why have you scored low.
Okay. So are you afraid from failing?
Not really. Failure is a part of life, you have to accept it.
लाइक 10th 12 में तो इतना माइंडसेट डेवलप नहीं होता कि फेल होने के बाद भी लगता है लाइक आपके तो ग्रेड्स कम नहीं आए होंगे मुझे लगता है
12th में मेरे ग्रेड्स बहुत कम आए थे, I didn't care.
कितना परसेंटेज थे आपके 12th
12th में I got 64%.
Oh.
Again, it was the same thing that it was not that I was not paying attention in class. I was just not going through a very good phase, and that is why my marks dropped. Just a piece of paper cannot change my personality. It cannot change how much I know.
मुझे भी मेरे पेरेंट्स से ही सपोर्ट मिलता है लाइक मैं कितना ही परसेंट बनाऊं आज तक मुझे कभी डांट नहीं मिली या फिर कोई बोला कि कोई रिलेटिव अगर जज करे तो डोंट माइंड देम
आपकी फैमिली अगर आपको सपोर्ट कर रही है और मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंटली अगर आप खुद आप जानते हो कि me failing does not define me. That is what you have to come up with. अगर आप खुद ही इतना डरे हुए हो तो honestly अगर आप अच्छा perform भी कर रहे होगे तो आपको कभी लगेगा ही नहीं that you're good enough.
Yeah. So how do you express yourself when you are broke down by a little thing, or just moving like life is going on? Okay.
So breaking down is very common, but I used to break down alone. And again, see, for me, I guess crying is the best thing you can do to yourself. If you are just having a lot of emotions and you're not processing them, it will keep building up, and you will not understand what to do, and you will eventually break up.
Genuinely, a student didn't doesn't understand what you have taught in class, like after multiple attempts. ठीक है. So what first question have as goes in your mind?
I have catered to thousands and thousands of students, and I know that if I am teaching one topic, that topic can go very well with one bunch of crowd, and the same bunch of crowd may not react to it, right? And same for students also. So, personally, what I have done is taught topics in a different way. If I have been told that okay, this is not something which I'm able to understand, and secondly, the feedback has to come from the student. The student has to ask questions. Like anyone, like even when you are talking to anyone, if they're not responding back or telling you that they didn't get anything, we'll just assume that they have understood it and we'll move on, right? Yeah. So the student is telling me that they did not understand it. It's very common, happens a lot because they might be thinking in a different direction and you are thinking in a different direction. For you, whatever feels very easy, that okay, this is the very basic, you should know this. The other person might not have that. So I'm pretty okay with explaining things multiple number of times. In class, though, honestly, that rarely happens. The students have a lot of doubts. Some do come in after the end of the class, but if a person is there and they are not able to understand it, I will try different ways to do it. Sometimes I have even taken time and asked them that maybe right now I'm not able to understand what your question is. Give me some time and I'll explore more on how to explain this. This has happened to me in the previous classes where linked list was a topic which was being taught, and imagining linked list is a little difficult for someone who's not from a coding background. Right. So I remember I was teaching this linked list topic, and the students had a fair enough grasp of what is happening, but they were not able to understand that how the list getting made when the node is being created. Right. So next time I had an entire animation and drawing to just create the node, attach it to one other node, how to make the links, how does the address show up, everything. So I think that helped the students learn better.
That's why you got OS lecture like that.
Yeah. So again, because whenever something you cannot imagine, like for me, I have studied OS like n number of times. I have had it in bachelor's, I've had it in masters, I have taught it. So everything feels very streamlined in my head. Plus, I have also studied some subjects which add on to OS. So I know a lot more things as compared to what is being taught in just the OS subject. So for me, connections are very important. But if I'm a student and just listening to that, which is not even relevant, like if I remember I told you that this is more of a conceptual thing, and whatever subjects you have next will build on top of it. So again, then the entire subject becomes pointless, right? If this is not being even used, then why am I even learning about it? So that's why I try to come up with innovative ways which are like used in class. But again, for that you have to come up with a feedback. Otherwise, whatever I'm teaching, if you're not responding, I'll assume that you do it.
Have you ever sat in your own lecture and things like it is boring from your side?
Yeah, obviously. So not boring, I would say, but I have felt a number of times that this could have been taught better. And this privilege, obviously, you get with the help of online platforms and even with you guys. Like I was taking OS for 3 classes, and suppose I prepared a lecture, and in my head it sounds great, right? I have had multiple examples. I have particular flow in which I'm going to teach a class, but I go to a class and I teach that. Okay. Now you know how the flow is going to be, and if I am getting bored while teaching, imagine the level of a student who has been studying, like sitting in the class for the past 2 hours. They are definitely going to get bored. So sometimes I even do that. That if I see that something is going wrong, in the next class, I try to come up with different ways in which that topic can be taught. I have changed the complete course and the topics which I have taught in that particular lecture if I felt like that lecture was going flat.
How you conclude that this class is going to boring because no one is responding like many times?
So for me, a class is boring if I cannot see anyone getting engaged. If a class is interesting, you cannot engage 100% of students. There is no way that you will ever be able to engage 100% of the class. But at least the ones who are responding should be responding to the right things. Okay. So if I tell them a topic, okay, I've taught them a topic and they are just replying on that topic and they're not having other doubts, which means that they are simply understanding what I have taught them, but they are not able to connect things. Because the moment you try to connect things, that is when doubts come up, right? So if I taught something and nobody asked a question, or they ask a question exactly as the topic has been, so I feel like this is something which could be done in more interesting way. I could connect more things from it, and that is when I changed it. And again, when you are speaking also, you will feel like if I have given 3 examples by now and they are my examples are boring me, it is definitely boring the students. आप सजेस्ट करोगे किसी स्टूडेंट को लाइक लेक्चर के अलावा क्या करनी चाहिए चीजें हमें? If you are not able to understand a particular topic, YouTube videos are a very good way because classes are like 2.5 hours long. You cannot expect anyone to sit for so long. Yeah. And again, the internet is at like one press, so you can just look for a particular topic and try to look for videos which have animations. So let's talk about relationship nowadays because it is very common in our age. Yeah. So what do you think about relationship in our generation? Things keep on changing. Humans are ever changing, and you guys are very young to, in my opinion. Okay, if you are having flings or you feel like you love someone or you are in a relationship with them, it is okay. But again, you have to respect their boundaries and your boundaries because at this point, like when you're in your teen years, a lot of us are people pleasers. So they feel like because I am with someone, I should do everything possible in my, in my capacity to make the other person happy, right? And that is when people are taken advantage of, and some things might not go your way. But definitely, relationships right now are a happy distraction. But that does not mean that you are deviating from your personality. So again, think about it. If you are not true to yourself, if you don't love yourself, then why will the other person love you or respect you the same way? Our generation is afraid from commitment. They just want attention and just correct. Gasping that. So again, a lot of things come from that. Like if I talk about if I was in my school, relationships were a taboo. Everybody was in them, but nobody wanted to admit that they were in them. But now it is cool to be in a relationship. That if you are single, people will like shame on you. कि अभी तक single क्यों हो तुम? So it keeps on changing. तो distraction तो है, लेकिन इससे loss कैसे cover करें? Like how we should think about relationship. So I have been in my fair share of bad relationships. I'm coming from that place and telling you. Ki, again, not everything is meant for you. Not everybody is meant for you. And I did learn it a long way back that whatever is meant for you will come find you in whatever way possible. And if you are giving love to the universe in no matter what shape and form, be it your friends, be it your siblings, be it your partners, if the person at this moment is not reciprocating it, it does not mean that your love has gone to waste. It will always come back to you in the right form by the right person. However, breakups suck, obviously, but you have to get over it. If there is someone out there that you want to be with, but they are not willing to be with you, or they are not willing to do those many efforts to be with you, then what's the point of it, right? That's it. Also, relationship हमें बहुत कुछ सिखाता है, like we should how we should choose the right person at right time. Definitely. So again, every person has a character arc unless and until you're broken. तो आपको समझ में नहीं आता है कि क्या सही है क्या गलत है. Like again, अगर अभी का example आप ले लो, मानो you are together with someone and your parents get to know about it. Now all the parents will have a different reaction to it, and most of them will be like, "Hey, this is not the day and age to do all these things." Like it. Yeah, correct. Because they know that distraction is very easy. The time that you might do to enhance yourself and upskill yourself is now going into I can say caring about the other person. That is the major reason why parents are very against it. That okay, just focus on yourself and nobody else. But it is okay. Plus, especially with you all who are living in a hostel, you will technically, if you find a person, they are like you are family away from home. And I have noticed this that like there is a term day scholars, whoever attends the campus like from their own house and they don't stay in the hostel. In their case, relationships are lesser because they do have the fear of family and they have the love of their family, right? But if you are living in a hostel and you're living so far away and somebody is showing you affection and care, definitely you're bound to reciprocate the same. So it is pretty okay. And talking about breakups, you need to understand that the major reason why you guys broke up, okay, might be something your fault, her fault, his fault, or both of yours fault. You cannot change that. Whatever has happened and has happened, and it is all meant for good. Whatever happens in the universe happens for a particular reason, and it is meant to be that way. If you're trying to overindulge into it, you're just harming yourself and nobody else.
सोशल मीडिया में भी वैसे बहुत कुछ होता है लाइक रिलेशनशिप में कोई नए बंदे आते हैं तो स्टोरीज वगैरह डालते हैं देन दे प्रिटेंड लाइक वी आर इन लव सो हाउ दे शुड लर्न व्हाट इज रियल रिलेशनशिप इज
See, attention seeking mechanism is something that everyone has been open to since ages. Abhi it is much easier to do with the help of social media. पहले ये होता था कि कुछ बहुत ग्रैंड जेस्चर कर देंगे तो कोई देख लेगा, बट अब अभी अगर आप देखो, अगर आप अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ एक स्टोरी भी डाल दो तो शी विल बी सो हैप्पी कि ओ माय गॉड मेरे साथ स्टोरी डाल दिया, पीक लेवल ऑफ कमिटमेंट, राइट? बट पहले ऐसा नहीं था. तो जेस्चर्स आर गेटिंग स्मॉलर एंड स्मॉलर. दिस इज कॉल्ड पेबलिंग एक्चुअली. कि अगर मैंने आपको बहुत सारे मीम भेज दिए तो विच इज वेरी अच्छा कि मैंने आपको टाइम दिया है मीम ढूंढ के आपको भेजने के लिए.
So what do you think, like, if someone has told you in your 1920 about relationship?
So personally, I used to feel like girls do all the efforts in the relationship and the men do not. So I had that very idea.
Men pretend like they are mature.
Men pretend that they don't care. So they care only until you are not interested. They'll stop caring the moment you say yes to them.
I am not interested.
Yeah. An effort is not like कि मैं तुमसे मिलने आया तो मैंने बहुत effort करा. Like obviously you were free on this Saturday so you came to see me. This is not an effort. But in your normal day-to-day journey, if you feel like okay, the other person needs attention or the other, you are missing that person and you go to see them, that is more of an effort, I would think. कि again, plus affection and care only feel good when they're coming from the right person as well. You cannot be bombarding someone with these gestures if they are not interested. So figuring out that who's interested and who's not is very, very important. And then after that, you should try to build something from that. But if you don't have that bond with the other person, so you will not be able to sustain in that relationship. So you should not be trying to fill a void in your life कि okay, अगर girlfriend होती तो बहुत अच्छा रहता. It should be one person which you feel like okay, if this person is my friend or girlfriend, then I feel like then life would be better. That is one thing you should think about.
मुझे भी लगता है like mature relationship तो ऐसा होना चाहिए in my terms कि लाइक प्रिटेंड किसी चीज का प्रिटेंड नहीं करना और जेलसी फैक्टर नहीं होना चाहिए. आई एम लॉयल फॉर यू एंड यू शुड आल्सो लॉयल फॉर मी एंड दैट्स इट.
I mean, loyalty is the bare minimum. Like if you are with someone, so loyalty should not something we should come from within. And just because you are a very good boyfriend or she is a very good girlfriend does not ensure loyalty. Okay, people can be very nice, but they might not be loyal. It is something from a completely different track. And there should be the absolute bare minimum कि ये तो होना ही चाहिए. You should also not be looking for trouble. If you if you're looking for trouble, trouble will find you. वो वाली चीज हो गई. तो have other expectations come above the bare minimum of loyalty and caring and sweet nature. Come above that. A person has to support you. A person needs to know you through and through. जितना आप खुद को जानते हो, आपका पार्टनर भी आपको उतना ही जाने. Like if they know कि okay, at this time you are busy, they will respect your privacy. Now that does not mean that they are gonna completely ignore you. Like suppose अभी आप 2 घंटे busy हो, वो भी बोलेंगे वो 2 घंटे busy था, मैं भी 2 घंटे busy रहूंगी, अब मैं बात नहीं करूंगी 2 घंटे बाद तक. तो ये गलत हो जाता है. तो you cannot just like compare apples and oranges. You have to understand from where the other person is coming from, and then have that relationship. अगर आप बहुत ही बेसिक जैसे अभी आपने बताया that is bare minimum only कि बस लॉयल होनी चाहिए, स्वीट होनी चाहिए, तो ऐसे में हमेशा नहीं चल पाएगा. बहुत से लोग लॉयल होते हैं, स्वीट होते हैं, but they are not meant for you, and whatever is not meant for you, eventually starting में तो बढ़िया लगेगा, but eventually in the longer run you will not be able to sustain that relationship. Your partner should be having the traits which you possess and the traits which you don't possess. Like अभी तो yin yang concept है ना कि मेरा बिल्कुल opposite होगा तभी मुझे मजा आएगा जीवन में, ऐसा नहीं होता है. If अगर आपके पास similarity नहीं है, अगर आप common topic पे बात नहीं कर पा रहे हो, अगर आपका love language same नहीं है, तो आप नहीं जल कर पाओगे. Like suppose किसी का love language है gift giving, अगले बंदे का है words of affirmation, तो उसको वही लग रहा है ना कि मैं तो गिफ्ट पे गिफ्ट दे रहा हूँ, अगला बंदा मुझे खाली थैंक यू बोल के चला जा रहा है, तो क्योंकि वो लव लैंग्वेज मैच नहीं कर रही है, तो इवेंचुअली क्लैशेस होंगे. स्टार्टिंग में यू माइट फील लाइक कि ओके मैं एडजस्ट कर लूंगा या कर लूंगी एंड इवेंचुअली सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा, बट इन द लॉन्गर रन दैट डज नॉट होल्ड.
जब मैं 10 to 15 एज का था, तो मुझे लगता था कि लाइक सक्सेस इज लाइक study anything and good grade is success for me. But it is not true.
I feel like success is ever evolving. As a human, you guys are greedy. Okay, you cannot deny that. Everybody is greedy for something or the other, and you need to learn how to be content in whatever you have, right? And then again, this also comes from your partner as well, that how content they are in their life and how content they make you feel is very very important. So sitting with questions is important. You will get an answer, definitely, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but that answer will keep changing for you.
So if a person want to grow in life, not in based on tech, in terms of communication, in terms of relations and physique and all these things, so what would be one advice that nobody should follow?
Compare yourself to others and take their opinion into consideration. I think that is the worst thing you can do to yourself. Again, it's like comparing apples and oranges. Now, people from a third point of view will say that, okay, you are both students at Scalar, you are both in the same batch, so you should be performing the same ways. Parents do that a lot कि वो बच्चा तो इतना अच्छा स्कोर कर रहा है, आपका स्कोर क्यों नहीं अच्छा आया, मेरा बच्चा कैसे खराब कर सकता है, पहले तो वो टॉपर था, अब ऐसा कैसे कर रहा है. तो ये बहुत कॉमन चीज़ें हैं. But you should never compare yourself to anyone else. You should never compare yourself to yourself as well. Like, you can be going through a situation which you have never been in. So if I compare, like, suppose I'm beaten up right now, I'm completely depressed, I'm sad, I'm anxious, I don't know what is going on. And if I compare myself कि अरे 4 साल पहले तो कितना अच्छा था मेरा टाइम, मैंने कितना पढ़ाई करते थे हम, अभी तो उतना नहीं हो पा रहा है, that is not fair to you. You are handling emotions in a very right way. Second thing I feel like is very very important. Do not let anyone dictate that you are overreacting or underreacting. So if somebody comes up to you and says कि अरे इतनी बड़ी बात नहीं थी, you are overreacting, इतना मत सोचो, that is not right. You can listen to them, obviously वहाँ पे लड़ाई मत करने लगो, but do whatever your heart says is right. If you feel like right now this is a moment for me to take a break and understand what is going on and then take things from there, that is what you're supposed to do. Like I see कि थोड़े भी अगर इंटरव्यू में किसी का जॉब नहीं लगती है, पीपल स्टार्ट पॉइंटिंग आउट कि अरे तुम तो कितने अच्छे स्टूडेंट हो, तुम्हारी जॉब नहीं लग रही है, तो ऑब्वियसली इट इज नेगेटिव एनर्जी. इफ यू कीप ऑन लिसनिंग टू दैट ओवर एंड ओवर अगेन, तो आपको खुद का भी नैरेटिव वही सेट हो जाएगा. And creating a self narrative is very important. Do not be like बिल्कुल अंडर द ग्राउंड इटसेल्फ कि मैं मुझसे तो कुछ भी नहीं हो पाएगा, मैं कुछ भी नहीं कर पाऊंगा, वैसा भी नहीं करना है और ऐसा भी नहीं करना है कि आई एम तो अनबीटेबल, नथिंग कैन क्रॉस मी, ऐसे तो नहीं क्रॉस सकते. वैसा आपको अगेन जिस तरीके से आप खुद को सेल करते हो वो मैटर बहुत करता है.
So this is from my side. Thank you so much.
It was great having this conversation, Jayesh.
Thank you so much.
Okay.